Welcome to the Blender Goon. In this video we are going to use B surfaces to remesh Shazad's bodysuit here and get ourselves a template so that we can cut it up and make clothing out of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit my end panel, and if you don't have B surfaces enabled, you need to go up here to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, search SUR, and enable B surfaces. And that'll put it over here in your end panel for you. So after you have that, we can go ahead and initialize the mesh. Select your mesh and go ahead and initialize B surfaces, and that's going to bring up your draw pencil here. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to start at the underarm here, just to the right side of it, and I'm going to draw a line. And this line draws right on the model. Then I'm going to go to the middle and draw another line from top to bottom, and one more line from top to bottom. And once you have those three lines, you can go down here to Add Surface and click it, and it will add the mesh for you. And it's stuck to the body nice and tight. From there, I'm going to hold Shift and go ahead and increase it a little bit on the offset so that it pops out from the body just a hair. So once we have that, we can go ahead and start modeling our first part of it. And I do it this way so that my point where everything comes together is right here. So I'm going to go to Edit Surfaces and click it and hit 2 on my keyboard to go into Edge Select and just grab one of these edges and extrude off of it and go that way with it. And then extrude again. And we're just going to keep going around the arm by extruding. And I think I'll stop there. And then grab this one and extrude it and rotate it. And I like to use control right click, so I'm going to control right click to just extrude to where my cursor's at. And I'm going to put one right here, and then shift select the next one and hit F to fill it. And that gives us a good base for our arm here, and we can move this stuff around later if we need to. Now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and add my mirror and other modifiers. So I'm just going to click that and go over here to the little wrench and select it. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to delete the, I think it's the solidify, and I'm going to delete the subdivision surface. That leaves us with our mirror. I'm going to change our mirror from X to Y, and that puts our mesh on the other side. And then we can start drawing our lines to make the rest of our mesh here. So I'm going to go back to Edit Surfaces, go into Vertex Select Mode, and I'm going to select this one and Control Select this one, and that'll select all of these for me. Then I'm going to go to Add Annotation and just draw some lines. And I'm drawing from this point to this point from top to bottom because that's how I selected them. You have to go the same direction, otherwise it gets crazy on you. And draw one down this way. And you want to rotate your mouse so that you got a good view so you don't get too crazy far apart with everything. And just try to keep everything kind of even. We're going to move all this stuff around anyway, but it's getting kind of out of hand here. And I'm going to go to about right here. You don't want to go past center. So once you have those drawn in, we can just click Add Surface, and it pops that right in there for us. And this stuff we'll just move it around here in a bit. And I'm going to do Edit Surface, not Add Surface. Then I'm going to select all of these guys. I'm going to go to my mirror modifier and make sure clipping's turned on. I'm going to hit E and just move left until they all suck together like that. And we'll straighten this stuff out in here in a little bit. Now we can do the same thing with the back surface. Make sure we're still on Edit Surface. And I'm going to grab this one down to here. And go back to Add a Note. And we're just going to draw some lines. And try to space them so that they start going straight. And and don't go past center. Once you have those drawn, you can add surface again. Then back to edit surface, control click, or click this one and control click the bottom one. And then we're just going to extrude it and run it into each other. So now that I have all that taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and extrude a little more stuff. So I'm going to select this vertex and go over to, you know what, I'm just going to go to here. And I'm just going to control click and go up the body with it. If it does this, just hit G and move it over to the left a little bit. We'll have to fix some stuff in a little while. And then control click again, G and move it. And maybe one more time up to the collarbone area. And G one more time, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit. I'm going to select this vertex and control click. And I'm following the amount of vertex I have, so that's 1, and then 2 for that one, 3 for that one, 4 for that one. And then shift click that one and hit F to fill it. And then go into edge select mode, grab that edge, and just hit F a couple times until it fills it across. I'm going to go into vertex select mode again, and I'm going to grab this one and just drag it down, move this one down, move this one over, move that one over a little bit. These ones I'm going to straighten out now. And I'm just trying to make everything kind of even spaced. And we'll add some more loop cuts later as we need to. Move these guys over a couple. Something like that. And do the same thing up here. Control click, control click, control click. One more time, and then shift select, and then F. Edge select, and then fill it on across. This one I'm going to move down and rotate it here. Back into vertex select mode, select that one, control click, and keep going, and then shift select and F. Back in the edge and fill that one across. When you use B surfaces, it automatically changes your box select to tweak select. So be aware of that. You can't, like if you try to drag and box, it's just going to do that. So just so you know, it's on tweak there. That's how I'm able to just grab these and move them. And like I said, try to keep everything kind of even. Now I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to control click up here and go across like I was doing before. And F to fill it. And I'm going to select these 4 and fill them. And then edge select and just run across. That's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to go to edge select that edge, and I'm going to try to keep in line with these, so I'm going to shift click here. So that's that one, and then we'll shift click again. I'm just making the collar area is what I'm doing. Rotate it a little bit because it got crooked on me. Then I'm going to this one, and then to this one. And there's a bunch here, so I'm not gonna continue because this is probably gonna end up going this way. But now I'm gonna select one, and if you have the F2 add-on, you can fill this stuff in pretty quick. So if you don't have it, go to Edit, Preferences, and up here we're gonna type F2 and turn on F2. And then you can close that. And now we can select this vertex, hit F, and then left click. Select that vertex, F left click, and F left click. Whoops. And I'm just going to keep doing that just to fill this stuff out. and it just snaps to the body because we have snapping and shrink wrap and all kind of things turned on. Then when you get there, you can just go into edge select and hit F to fill those. And see, I got it messed up there, so I'm just gonna grab this and move it this way, grab that one and move it that way. Oops. If it snaps like that and it gets annoying, you can turn snapping off up here. So I'm gonna turn it off. That way I can move stuff without it snapping together. I don't want it snapping right now. And then I need one loop cut right here, so I'm gonna Control R and add a loop cut, and that pops that up. Then I can go back here and hit F to fill that. This one looks like it's too far, so I'm just going to drag it up there. And then vertex select mode, F, select F, and select that one, F, whoops, and that one, and F. And I may as well, oh, I don't want to do it that way, okay. This one I'm going to extrude. And just drag it down here. That way I can do my filling again. Make sure you grab the vertex. I just grabbed one on the other side. You don't want to do that. You end up with stuff inside your mesh. You can select in the inside corner here, and it'll select that. But if you select out here, you'll miss it and select something on the other side. See how I selected that? So if you select on the inside of the one you want, you can grab it easier. And these are getting out of hand, so I'm going to grab this guy and move him over here. We'll grab this one and move it up. And make another loop cut in there for that one. And I'm just going to grab this and fill it twice. And we're just filling stuff out slowly but surely, making everything nice. We'll have to go back through and even some of this stuff out, but that's fine. Up here, I think I want my neck here, so I'm just going to control click across. I should probably stop doing that. Let's not do that yet, because this stuff's going to run into each other. I may end up adding loop cuts down here just to connect these. But what I will do is go into vertex select mode and start dragging some of this across, so it's, because it's already tightened up. And we can grab that one and hit F. Probably a better direction to go with it because it's faster anyway. So let's see. Move this out a little bit. I want to keep this kind of like a smooth transition. That way it doesn't get too sharp on me. I'm going to move this one over. Move these over a little bit, straighten them out. And I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add 2 loop cuts there. And we'll go ahead and do some of these again. And edge select mode, and I'm just going to start filling and seeing how it's filling out. See, it's getting a little crazy there. We'll rotate this one a little bit. We'll add one more loop cut here. Go ahead and fill the rest of this out. And I can straighten that out in vertex. Like that. I really don't need to do much of this. I don't have to get real perfect with it because it's going to be fine anyway. I'm going to select where I want the back of my neck, probably here, and go down to here. I'm going to leave this unselected, and then I'm just going to hit E and get my 2 extrudes, my last 2 there. And then we can hit edge select and fill that in. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, so we got our base model uh, done up here pretty good. Now I'm going to do the sleeves, so I'll select this edge here. I'll select it. And turn off snapping. And we're going to go into front view. And we're just going to extrude. And then we're going to scale it on the y-axis to straighten it out a little bit. And then extrude. And scale on the y. And then extrude. And if you move up and down, it's going to rotate that, so keep it straight. Extrude again. And again. And just try to keep your line straight while you're extruding out. And that'll give you a sleeve. We also need to add a couple loop cuts in the bosom area here. So Control R to make a loop cut here, and here, and one here. That gives us more geometry to smooth out the breast area. And that should be good. So now we need to apply our shrink wrap. So our shrink wrap is this top one here. So we're just going to apply, oh, nope, not the shrink wrap. We need to apply the mirror. So apply the mirror. Let's go ahead and move it up. So I grabbed those little bars and I just moved it above the shrink wrap so I can apply it. And you need to be in object mode, so tab in object mode and apply. Now we're going to jump into sculpting. And period on number pad and zoom in on it. So now that we're in sculpt mode, we need to go down here to the smooth. Let me drag this out. So we're going to select smooth and we're going to crank the strength down to like, I don't know, 0.2, 0.23, something like that. And we can smooth this stuff out now. So I'm going to hit F to scale my mouse up a little bit, or my influence up a little bit, and just start painting. And that'll start straightening stuff out. If it gets goofy like that, leave it alone. We don't want to get crazy with this stuff, but we want to try to smooth the other stuff out. Go back to the back here. And and if it's too much influence, you can still turn it down even more. That way it doesn't move so fast on you. And I'm just holding left click and painting. And if you see these different colors, so see how this one's more red than that is? It's a darker red. That means your normals are backwards, so we'll fix that too. And I should have had X mirror on for all this. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you turn on your X mirror. I'm just going to leave it be for now, and I'm just going to fix the other side too. I don't care if it's completely symmetrical. It's fine. And anywhere you see anything kind of crazy, just give it a little swipe. That's acting goofy there, but that's okay. And just try to get everything kind of the same distance. If there's some stuff that doesn't want to work for you, you can always fix it later. And we're just trying to get these quads to have a nice edge flow and be similar in size. If this tightens up, that's okay too, because we're going to make a neck out of it anyway. Once you have this the way you want it, we can go ahead into the inflate brush here. But before we start inflating, I'm going to jump back into layout. Make sure I'm in object mode, and make sure you have your selection method on. We're going to select the mesh and hit tab to go into edit mode. Then hit A and do a shift in to recalculate the normals and make sure everything's blue. Once everything's blue, we can jump back into sculpt mode. And now we can work with our inflate brush. So you could turn the strength down and start inflating. And if you stay on the lines, it inflates by the vertex. So we want to try to inflate the vertexes. It's not working correctly because we still have our shrink wrap on. So let's go ahead to the modifiers and hit the drop down and apply it. Now the inflate will work much better because it's inflating, but it's not because the shrink wrap keeps just snapping it back. So now if we inflate, you can see it fills those areas in better. And I'm just painting over top of the general areas for where it's at. We're probably going to need another loop cut in there. Um, yeah, because you see how far it's sticking out away from the breast? That's probably no good, but we'll add some more geometry if we need to. And I'm going to keep painting on here. And you're just filling it up until those poke throughs go away. And that is looking pretty good for a base mesh anyway. Like I said, we'll need some more geometry here, and it come way out on us because we just needed to come way out. That way it would um, get rid of the poke throughs, but that's fine. So now we can jump back into layout. So we need to turn our overlays back off, which is up here. We'll go there and turn off face orientation. That turns our overlays off. Now I want to get rid of this crazy wireframe and the color off of this. So I'm going to go to my color, and I'm just going to kill that with the minus. And up here under the overlays, we can hit that drop down. And wireframe's not on there, so then that means it's on over here. So go to your object properties and scroll down to viewport display, and then scroll down to wireframe and turn that wireframe off. And we can right click shade smooth, and that's what she's looking at. And there's still some poke throughs we need to fix, but I want to go back into edit mode, and our tweak is still on, so that's fine. So I'm just gonna kind of give this a collar shape. We don't have the shrink wrap and stuff on anymore, so you want to be careful with it, because when you're moving stuff it will go crazy on you. But we can turn snapping back on, so let's do that. That way when we move stuff it snaps to the surface. And I just want to give this collar a little better shape. And if it pokes through again, don't worry about it. We can go back and fix it later. Whoops. Be sure when you're grabbing stuff, you're grabbing the right side, because I just grabbed the back and that was no good. Grab this one, move it this way. I'm trying to determine which seam I want to be my top seam. Everything's kind of rotated strangely, so I think I'm going to make this one my main one. I'm going to hit a SX and just scale that, kind of straighten it out. Maybe move it to the right a little bit. That should be fine. I'm going to grab these ones down to here with control and give it an SX also, and then just move them over a little bit. And maybe one more time with this row. SX, scale them straight a little bit, and move them up a little bit. And it's poking through again because the snapping's on, but that's okay. We'll just inflate it back out here in a minute. And I'm just going to grab stuff and kind of move it around a little bit. The snapping's breaking stuff. So now that I've fixed this stuff up, I'm going to actually symmetrize this thing so that the right is same as the left. And especially since I've kind of fixed this up here and the collar area. So I'm going to hit A, and I'm going to hit spacebar to go to my search menu and hit symmetrize, or type symmetrize, so SYMM, and mesh symmetrize, and click it, and it breaks it, which is fine. Then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to do Y positive to Y minus, which is this one. And that makes the right side and the left side the same. Now I'm going to turn the snapping back off and jump back into sculpt mode. And up here on the drop down, I'm going to hit random for the drop down for the solid view. That's not a very good random, is it? Well, it's not playing nice, but that's okay. I'd have liked something other than pink on pink, but that's fine. I may just give them another material. So it looks like the B surfaces is what's messing with me here, so I'm going to change the color in B surfaces to blue. I don't know why it wasn't working down there, but whatever. Back to sculpting. Oh, let's make sure we got this selected. There we go. And then back to sculpting. And I'm still on my inflate brush, so I'm just going to inflate these back out. You know what? Before you start inflating, go ahead and turn on your Y symmetry. That way it does both sides at the same time. That way we don't have to fix both sides. And we've got a little crack in there. I can see it on the thing. And that's from the symmetrize, so I'm going to go into object mode and you can see it here. Or edit mode rather. And you can see it here. And we've got a whole bunch of them. So, got tweak still on. Go ahead and left click on tweak and change it to box select. You can also hit W. And I'm going to box select those, check, make sure I didn't select nothing on the other side. We're going to have to merge all these at center. So M at center, and then I'm going to box select those and hit Shift R to repeat the operation. And I'm just box selecting and repeating with Shift R. That's the only bad part about symmetrizing like I did. It breaks stuff. That guy needs to go up. And I'm just going to grab him and nope. M at center again. And then we got a bunch of stuff up here. I'm actually going to select this and select those two. Make sure I didn't select nothing on the other side. I didn't. And I'm going to select this one, which is going to be the active one. And then I'm going to merge. Well, it was the last one I selected, so I'm going to do at last, which sucks everything up to the last one. Then we got to do the same thing on the other side. So select those. Make sure I didn't select nothing over there. I didn't. M at center and Shift R to repeat. Box select and Shift R. I'm just going all the way down. This is just some cleanup that you get when you have some when things aren't even. When you symmetrize, it does that, and I'm used to it, and I fix it all the time. There's probably a better workflow for it, but that's okay. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Grab this loop minus these two and hit GG and slide them down a little bit. That looks good. I was just checking to make sure it moved both sides. We've got some poke throughs again, so we'll go back into sculpting. And my inflate brush is still selected, so I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. And just doing some general cleanup to make everything kind of nice. And we've got a decent template for a shirt. So the last thing we're going to do, which is what I should have done before I was fighting with the material, is kill the B surface off of this. So right here where it says B surface mesh 001, just go ahead and kill that. And that takes care of all that. We can hit N to get rid of this. And that's your base shirt. See, now this is working. We still have a, if you see this kind of stuff, make sure you get back in there because there's two vertex right here. You see that? So we're going to select both of those and merge them at center. And double check your mesh, make sure there's no more creases, and that looks good. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, and if you can, hit me on the Patreon, and I will see you guys in the next video.